I have not slept one night since all this has started. My God. You think that you know somebody, and then they do something like this.
I have nothing to lose. You guys, there's absolutely nothing that can hurt me now. I have no consequences for my actions, and I plan on hurting people.
It's just unbelievable that I raised a child that would be capable of doing something like that. He wasn't raised like that.
I wholeheartedly have nothing to lose, and I'm going to take it out on everybody I can. I'd rather just kill people. It's much easier.
My son is damaged goods. There's no fixing him now. You can't fix something that's that broken.
Some of the most damning testimony in the trial of Peter Absinu came from his own mother, the woman who turned him into police.
He said he had done something that he needed to get away for 6 months and then everything would be all right.
People think I'm terrible. And I don't care. I couldn't let him continue doing what he was doing. Somebody had to stop him. He broke God's law. Thou shalt not kill. When you break God's law, you have to pay up to God. But then he got 2 death sentences. God, I wish none of this had ever happened. I had the hardest time picking out these pictures, finding them, because it's so hard for me to look at them anymore. It just breaks my heart. Makes me cry. I never thought we'd be doing what we're doing. When he was that age, he was the happiest little guy, always smiling. He had so much potential. I had such hopes for him. He was the light of my life. Monster came from, I don't know. All the hopes and dreams I had for him are just gone. I look at his pictures and I say, this is not a murderer. This can't be a murderer. But it is. What happened? What happened to make him turn into this horrible, psychotic thing? It first started to change when my daughter was murdered. Peter was 8 years old. I had to tell him. Sat down on his bed and said I had to talk to him. And I told him that something awful had happened.
What's going on?
Peter had 2 siblings. Jennifer was 20 years older than him, and Eric was 10 years older than him.
Something's happened to your sister.
My daughter was dating George, the guy that murdered her. She didn't want to see him anymore because he was harassing her, and she got a restraining order on him. And that night, he went to her house, and he shot her point blank with a .57 Magnum in the base of her brain. When I told Peter that his sister was gone, that she had been murdered, he said, no, it's not true. You're lying.
No, I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I'm so sorry. You're lying!
He was devastated. It was like he lost his hero. His whole little world was just shattered.
You're a liar! So. No!
Here he had this person he worshipped, and now they were gone. He was like lost. He was just inconsolable. He was so angry. After the murder, Peter started getting anger issues. He became very bitter. He started going around just screaming. And he was never like that. He was never like that.
Peter!
He was so angry. He wanted to go to jail and get George. He wanted to do something bad so he could get in jail and he could kill George. He wanted to do the same thing to George that he did to Jennifer. Then I said, you can't do that.
Done.
I didn't know what to do because I didn't know how to handle his anger. We started getting in fights. We ended up in court when he was 9 because he broke a kid's nose. The kid was saying something about Jennifer, and Pierce told him to shut up about his sister, and the kid kept it up, and Peter broke his nose. And I hadn't really seen Peter do anything like that, so I kind of was shocked.
Peter?
In court, he had to tell the judge that he was sorry and he wouldn't do it anymore.
We have to show the judge you're serious about this. Why aren't you ready yet?
I was hoping that he would realize that he can't do stuff like that, and it's not right. But it just kept getting worse. It kept getting more violent and more violent.
Now!
He was becoming this person that I didn't know. We tried desperately to get Peter help. We had him in a grief group, and but that didn't seem to help. He just didn't respond well at all. I mean, I felt like I was losing him, and I didn't know what to do. I mean, we thought we were doing everything that we could by taking him to therapy. But then it just steadily got worse. When Peter was around 10 years old, he started getting into his fascination for knives. He wanted anything sharp. He had to have something sharp. At first, he just had a fascination with little knives. Then it got to be where he wanted bigger knives and bigger knives. And then he started sharpening them. He got his own little sharpening tool. He would sit and sharpen the knives obsessively. I disagreed that he should be allowed to have the knives to begin with. But his stepfather thought that it was perfectly manly for him to want to do that. He used to bring it closer and closer to me. Look at this.
Watch this.
I bled easily because I took blood thinners, and he would be like, "This would really make you bleed, wouldn't it, Mom?"
I could cut you so easily with this knife.
I started getting scared.
Don't you have schoolwork to do?
Did you ever try to take the knives from Peter?
Oh, no. I was always afraid he was going to cut me, and then I would bleed to death.
Now put it away and get some work done.
I would say, "Put them away. Please, put them away." He didn't listen. You question yourself because this is your child, and your child's not supposed to do things like this to you. And yet he was doing it. He would seem to be enjoying it. And that was very upsetting. Very. You don't want to believe that it's happening, and you want to ignore it because maybe it'll go away. Maybe it's just a phase they're in and it's going to pass. But Unfortunately, Peter's never passed. Just kept getting worse and worse, and he kept getting in more trouble and more trouble. It was almost like there was a demonic possession that came over him. He took a samurai sword, and he came after me with a samurai sword. I worked at a vet shop, and we had so many animals. He's always so kind to them. But then as he got older, his whole personality changed. And because Peter was so volatile, you never knew what was going to come next. The thing with him and wanting to cut my dog open, that will always stick in my mind. I'm probably doing laundry or something like that, and I thought everything was fine. I didn't think there was a problem going on. And all of a sudden, he grabbed my dog. And took a knife. And he said, "Just how easy do you think it would be for me to just slit her open?" And my blood ran cold. You've ever seen people with just mean eyes, and you know that you don't want to go in their space? Well, that's the way you would look. His eyes were glassy and black, and it was very frightening, very scary. He was going to kill her. Right there in front of me.
You put her down. Now.
I said, "You put that dog down, and if you're smart, you'll get out of my sight. And you'll stay out of my sight." I said, "Because you won't live to make it to the door if you hurt that dog." I must have scared him. I must have had the look. Because he put the dog down quickly. Then he'd laugh. He'd have the little sicky laugh. He would just say, like, "You're overreacting."
It's not a big deal. Get out of my face. Now.
The sad part is Peter was such a good little boy. He was a sweetheart. You're like, this can't be happening, not to my child. My child can't be this way. But it is happening right there before your eyes. It's like he progressively got worse and worse and harder to deal with. That same day, right after that happened, I remember now, he took a samurai sword and he came after me with a samurai sword.
Peter! Peter! Peter!
It was almost like there was a demonic possession that came over him. I mean, he was swinging that thing. You could hear it going whoosh, whoosh. And oh my God, you have no idea what that sound is when it goes past your head. It's just like whoosh, and you realize how sharp that thing is. I was scared to death. I thought, this is it. I'm getting it now. Any minute, I'm going to be blood everywhere. I picked up a cushion off the sofa. And he slit the... And if I had not taken the cushion and held it up, he would have hit me with a samurai sword. You can't imagine. You just can't imagine what it feels like. Peter's stepfather was absolutely useless. He didn't want to get involved. I had to do it all on my own. I I felt all alone and desperate because I had no one to help me deal with him. And that was more than I could handle. One thing just led into the next and the next, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Peter just did things. You didn't know why he did things. He wouldn't tell you why he did things. He didn't give you answers. One day, he put his trash can right at his door. And then he was sitting there and he's striking matches and throwing them in the trash can full of paper. I said, don't do that.
What are you doing?
You're going to start a fire. He taunted me. So what if I do? What are you going to do about it? So I'm going to call the authorities. That's what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to call the fire marshal. Do what you got to do, Mom. So I did. They sent this woman over, and he wouldn't talk to the girl. She tried so hard, but he was such an obnoxious little snot. He was so nasty to her. So she told him that she would have to take him into custody if he didn't stop. That got a little bit of respect out of him. During that period of time, Peter's rage towards me really intensified. And it never stopped. Just didn't stop. And that's when I found the bullets. Oh my. See the eye? This is when he was a teenager. You could see the darkness coming in the eyes, the stare. They could just burn a hole through you when they were staring at you. When he became a teenager, I started losing him. This is where he was becoming uncontrollable. I found jewelry and collectibles and stuff like that. I was like, where's this stuff coming from? And it was coming from the houses he was robbing. You get to a point where you really are scared. And you also get to a point where you're pretty fed up.
Mom? What is this?
I had the police take him right out of the bathroom one day.
Come on out. Put your hands up against this wall for me.
And he'd be like, I can't believe you did this. Well, I don't approve of what you're doing. You won't stop.
I will never forgive you.
It's terrible to have to turn your own child in. He went to juvie. I went to see him. It was my mother. We were supposed to spend Christmas with him. And I had taken him presents and everything. And we didn't get to do that because he went off on us.
There she is. My mother. The slut.
He started when he saw me. He called me every name in the book, every kind of horror imaginable. And Peter started coming at me. I really was scared for my life. He's grasping at you, trying to hit you, trying to grab you. And then these guys, these great big burly guys come and have to pull this kid off of you. They had to take him out and restrain him and give him medication because he was going after me so bad. It's horrible. I'm his mother. I can't imagine being that angry with my mother. And he got away with it. Nobody would help me. Nobody would put him away and keep him there till they could do something with him. They kept letting him out early, and he kept doing reoffending. And I kept trying. I prayed that he would be saved. I got a phone call at work that Peter was in the emergency room. He wasn't hurt, but they had him in there and the state police were holding him. And I was very confused. I had no idea what was going on. The police officer came in and told me that Peter had this whole diagram of what he was going to do to the school. He was going to blow it up. He had picked out certain people in the rooms that he was going to blow up. You're looking at this and you're just in total disbelief that this is happening.
Is it okay if I speak with him?
I asked him, I said, so what's going on? Oh, Mom, just don't get excited about it, Mom. It's all right. Everything's going to be all right.
It's not a big deal.
Your heart drops. Your heart just drops to your ankles. It's terrible. He went to the psych hospital. And from the psych hospital, he went to juvie. After we took care of Peter, I went home and I started looking in his room to see what else was there. And the floorboard was up in his closet, and I reached in there and there was the gun. And then I found the attaché case, and the attaché case obviously had something in it because I could hear it when I shook it. And that's when I found the bullets, the shotgun shells. And there were 4 of them. One of the bullets had Mom on it. When I looked at that bullet and it said Mom, I thought, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do to him to make him hate me so much? What did I do to him to make him so vicious and mean? I didn't know what to think. I was scared. I really didn't know what to think. And you question yourself. You question yourself over and over again because you don't know what you did wrong. Why would he want to kill me? I did everything for him, which is so heartbreaking. I can't take anymore. He just turned around and shoved me against the refrigerator. He had just lost control. He spent 11 months in a facility for aggressive teenagers. I thought, well, this is really going to help. He was on medication. I thought, oh my God, this is working. It's going to work. Everything's going to be okay. He's going to be back to normal. Didn't work that way. I was all excited because when he came home, he looked so good. He sounded so good. And, it was like having my son back. He was affectionate. And, it was wonderful. But it didn't last long. One day I was in the kitchen with him.
Peter, I asked you to take out the garbage. I'm not going to ask you again.
I said something to him. I don't even know what I said to him. And he just turned around and shoved me against the refrigerator. I was very shocked. He had never put his hands on me before.
You don't tell me what to do. Ever again.
He had just lost control.
You understand me?
He left shortly after that. And I just went in my room, stayed away from him for a while. I lost control completely because he was just doing whatever he wanted to do. After Peter turned 18, there was no other place for him but jail. He just was in jail all the time, so I didn't see him that often. He would try and call me Colette, always begging for money when he's in jail. I just decided one day that I had given enough, and I wasn't going to give anymore. And I stopped receiving the calls. Relieving. It was freedom to be away from it. When I didn't have to have contact with him, it was almost refreshing that I didn't have to put up with it every day.
Hello?
Hi, Mom. It's your favorite son, Peter. How about I come over for dinner? I'm like, what? I said, where are you? He said, I'm right across the street. I'm like, gosh. God. You gotta be kidding. When he came home, he brought in guns, knives, stun guns. I said, what are you doing?
No way.
I said, oh no. Out with the gun. I said, the gun doesn't stay, the knives don't stay, the tear gas doesn't stay. I don't care what you do with it, but you get it out of this house and you get it out now.
To the car.
I didn't ask him anything because knowing Peter, I knew that he was going to come up with some cockamamie story. And I really didn't want to hear it.
Is everything okay?
After dinner, Peter started telling me how he had done something that he could never get back from. I said, did you hurt someone? And he said, yes.
2 men.
And I said, did you hurt them bad? He said, well, yes, I murdered them. I honestly just didn't know what to do.
That's not funny.
Then I thought he was lying, because Peter's notorious for making up stories. And I thought, well, this can't be true. It just can't.
I can't get the smell of bleach off of my hands.
He was saying how he couldn't believe that it had been so many days since he had been able to get rid of the smell in his nostrils.
Do you smell it?
No.
He never told me what he actually had done to those people. He didn't tell me how he maimed them, how he slaughtered them, how he wrapped them in bleach-covered blanket in the head twice and the other one 8 times. He didn't tell me any of the gruesome facts. I didn't learn those till way into the trial. I couldn't go to sleep. I just laid there. I kept thinking all night long.
I'll be right back.
I have to stop you, because nobody else seems to be able to stop you. So I have got to stop you before you hurt somebody else. I honestly don't know how I got through the rest of that night. But the next day, I asked him, I said, did you really do that?
Last night? Were you serious?
Yes, Mom, I really did it. I murdered 2 people and they deserved it. I said, what do you mean they deserved it? How could they deserve it? I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest with you. I really don't. All I know is I was so emotionally distraught. I was scared. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I didn't know what he was capable of.
Where are you going?
I told him that my friend had called me and she needed help. Then he wanted to know if I wanted him to go with me. I said, no, it's all right. Stay here and relax.
I'll be right back.
Meanwhile, I'm going to my friend's house. And that's how I got out of the house. And I went to my friend's house. And he called the police and they came and he gave himself up.
Stephen Adams and his partner Kevin Powell were found shot to death in their Wilton Manors home over Christmas 2010. Prosecutors say Avsonu met the couple after posting a suggestive ad on Craigslist.
They told me that the 2 guys were gay and that's why Peter murdered them. That he had picked them up. He was soliciting himself on Craigslist. He'd been selling himself to gay guys. I'm still in the back of my mind praying that it wasn't true, but it was. Well, I was scared. I mean, come on. I was really scared. I didn't know whether he was going to go off on me and attack me or what. I went in and he said, you know, Peter, I can't let you do this anymore. I brought you into this world and not to do the things that you've done. I just can't watch this go on anymore. I've got to stop you. So, yeah, I'm turning you in. And he said, it's not your fault. Well, no, it wasn't my fault. I've tried to raise you the best I could, and you have rejected me and rejected me. I cannot keep beating my head against the wall, and I have to stop you, because nobody else seems to be able to stop you. And he said, don't worry, I'm not mad at you. He said, I understand. I started crying. I couldn't stay in there with him. The last thing I said to Peter before I left was, I love you. And I said, that will never change. And he said, I love you too, Mom.
I had nothing to lose. You guys, there's absolutely nothing that can hurt me now. I have no consequences for my actions, and I plan on hurting people. I wholeheartedly have nothing to lose, and I'm going to take it out on everybody I can.
Peter has never shown any remorse. None whatsoever. If you ask him why he did it, he said because they deserved it.
Avsonu sent a letter to the judge saying in part, you will never be able to stop me. Then he went on a bigoted rant saying, it is my duty as a white man to call weak and tired from existence. He continued, homosexuals are a disease to mankind. It must be put down.
When I knew what he had done, it disgusts me so bad. I don't have the empathy for him. I really don't. At the trial, the judge asked me, Mrs. Avsonu, what would you do? And I said, Your Honor, I gotta say that I can't ask you for did this, he's guilty, and he needs to pay. And whatever that be, that has to be up to you. When the sentence came down, I was there, and he did one of these, pulled over like he was pulling a sling or a hangman's noose around his neck. He went like that to me. He shot the finger at the family. He did it to the judge, and that was terrible. He kills their family, and then he turns around and he's going to sit there and shoot the finger at them. Come on, that's just total disrespect. He has no respect for anybody.
We pray for Peter's mom.
Yeah, we do.
Because she is really the one that allowed Steve and Kevin to have this justice too.
Yeah.
So we thank Jeannie Avenue for coming forward.
And our prayers are with her.
I do agree with the judge. And it's gut-wrenching. It hurts. It hurts to know that your son's going to die. But he had no right to take two people's lives. He has to pay. He has to give back. What he did is inexcusable. Peter has not called me or spoken to me since he was sentenced, because he said that if I couldn't accept him and what he did, that I could no longer be a part of his family. Let him blame me. I've had it. I'm 74 years old. I don't need this anymore. He has put me through hell and back. And maybe that sounds selfish on my part, but my whole life was dedicated to Peter and getting Peter out of jail, getting Peter out of juvie. I don't have any time anymore. I'm used up, and he's guilty. If I could speak to him, I'd tell him I love him. That's never changing. He's my son, and I would tell him that. But I sure do miss him. And I sure do miss trying to talk to him. I lost my best friend. And I just really miss him. He was my buddy. We were really close, I thought.